Good morning, everyone. I hope that you guys all enjoyed the good, long 3-day weekend. And for all you stock market junkies, don't worry, we're about to get our fix today. Producer AB, keep that finger on the intro button. Good morning, 13. Good morning, Ramon. Good morning, everybody. Let's get into our sector overview. Neal, FOA. So okay, I gotta start like focusing more on my picks because over the weekend we did a special edition Saturday show and we had Brent Slava, as always, head of the Benzinga news desk there, spinning records, being our DJ, which is super cool. But damn, you guys are aggressive, shouting stocks, and then some of you were like pulling rank, arguing with each other, saying that you've been watching the show longer, so you get your picks looked at sooner. Hey guys, let's relax. Let's find opportunities together. And by the way, if you fell for my April Fool's prank saying that I was leaving Benzinga, and that the show was being canceled, I'm sorry. I feel bad. I feel bad about that. But also, gotcha. So let's focus. Cameron, like that ORGO tweet. That's all Miles. Cameron, you had some good ones. Cameron, I noticed that is this going to be every Saturday? Yeah, probably. It's too fun to pass up. So I think we do Saturday stream where we get ready for the week. We got a little bit cattywampus. Producer AB, get ready to roll that intro, bro. And no, it's going to be the opening bell, my friend.
3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, there you go. Opening bell. It is 9:30. What I want to point out right away, I'm going to share my screen right now. Is QQQ is back. All right. Are we still in X? I exited X at the top. And we can look at X right now for reentry, which I think we're going to get. It's on the watch list for the week. So for sure, X is not off the menu. Nothing crazy happened that made X not still a snack. Okay, nailed the timing. All right, everyone hit that like button for Producer AB. Also hit the like button for that last segment. I thought that was really good with Spencer Israel. All right, guys. And then everyone that's going off to trade, happy trading. Good luck out there. Break a leg. QQQ, guys. What I said previously was that we really wanted to break some of these previous levels to start getting higher highs, higher lows. Looks like we're getting that. New tool on the chart that I'm trying out. Daniel, yes, I did hear about DMX. So out of respect for DMX, who, no matter what you feel about his music, DMX has been a formative artist over many years of hip hop, and has struggled with addiction for a long time. So you know what? I'm not going to make too many more jokes about or using DMX for the X steel stock, just out of respect for the man. So anyways, you gotta show love to the greats, right? So looking at QQQ, I got a new tool on here. This is the linear regression tool to automatically draw some trend lines for me just very quickly. 1 second. Boom. There we go, baby. Chilling. Got the beats. Someone left a little nasty comment on YouTube that said, love the show, but the music ruins it. That's all I got to say to that. Okay, so we are in a broad upward trend here with QQQ. What I like here is that we've got a higher low supported by, again, a higher high from this previous swing. We are in a single swing sort of trend to the upward position. Sean Wilson, ignoring that person, thank you for the tip. Looking good in the pre. Really want to break this level because we got a gap to close, baby boys and baby gals. So let's go ahead and draw a little line here just for reference. Little weak start to the morning, but only time will tell. I don't really know what's going on with infrastructure and stuff like that. I didn't watch the Biden speech, and I haven't watched any like post talk breakdowns. But QQQ is where we want it to be. So I think we are going to be back in the saddle here very, very soon. But that does not detract away from our value names, which are steel, not steel, but like non precious metals, our financials, our banks, and our dirty energy, our oils. But it's going to be really great if we can break this line of resistance here, which is the February 22nd high for the session when we gapped it down. That's going to be sweet. That we're going to look for a nice gap close there. So now another thing to notice is that since I'm using this linear regression tool on QQQ, and again, guys, this is just the market overview. We're just going to look at NASDAQ and we're going to look at the S&P 500. We are coming up here with some gaps up, very, very strong. A lot of power behind it. RSI agrees. MACD is definitely agreeing with a nice curl up, accelerating slope on the MACD going up for QQQ. What we got here with the blue and the red sort of channels is an automatically generated linear regression, which is just a fancy way to say, I'm too lazy to draw my parallel channels. I'm going to let this app kind of do it for me. And then if I want to adjust it, then I'll come in and draw it. So we are returned to the mean, as one might say. We are right at the mean here in the middle on our linear regression. So this is the average price over this period that is marked on the chart. So we're right at that average price. If we do break out of this resistance, I am targeting a top. I am going long on QQQ, and I'm going to pick. I might even just do the Qs itself. I might even just do the sector ETF just to stay on the safe side. So that would take a little bit away from my gains, but it would also take a little bit away from my downside. But then we can look for strength in the QQQ. So at QQQ, this is the most bullish I've been for the past like week and a half. All right, so let's get over to SPY so we can get to some of our actual picks since the market is open. We're 4 minutes in. That was more. SPY. Okay, so SPY looking fergalicious. SPY just got a new pair of jeans, turned around in the mirror and said, damn, I'm going to buy these. SPY is gapping up, hungry. We like stocks going up in this country. People come to this country for the stock market. That's one of the best reasons to live in America. Don't quote me on that because I'm sure some people would probably be a little bit offended by that. Whatever, screw you. So let's look at the SPY from the perspective of a trade. Welp, we're gapped up. Does that look like it's going to sell off? I don't think so. Why? Because we're not in overbought territory on the RSI. The MACD still has room to get up to previous to its upper range. We are looking very good. Nice curl up, nice accelerated slope on the MACD, the blue line here. Let's take a look at the Bollinger Band. Bollinger, little bit overextended on the Bollinger Band. So if you've got your Bollinger Band tools on your charting tool or in your brokerage or whatever you use, go ahead and slap that baby on, and always kind of check it when you're looking at stocks in trend or sector ETFs in trend. And then this might just be a little top. We might get a little sell off, but I'm looking for a strong day just based on this start and the fact that we still have some room to go on the RSI. All right. So let's, trying to retake the fit. Okay. So Miles is alerting me to our pick. So let me change my watch list over here. I'm going to change my watch list to the Monday watch list 2. We're going to switch on X. So let us proceed with the 50-day moving average, which took a minute to load. So what do you mean looking to retake 50 MA this morning? Trying to retake the 50 MA. We're just looking real solid here. I do expect a period of sideways consolidation since we have a little bit of room to go before we get to this wick here on X, but we are trading within a range. Yeah, no, you're good, Miles. On the hourly. Got it. So let's take a look at the hourly. Perfectly fine because I like. So here's the point that I've been touching on a lot. We like stocks that are in upward trends, broadly speaking, for trading on shorter periods. So let's go down to the hourly, as Miles has pointed out. And then we can see that the 50-day moving average is look at this. This is kind of what's happening. Let's do the thing. Paintbrush, cross above 50 moving average, loftily floating above it, and then instead of crossing below it, touches it, gives a little kiss as it's flying by, goes, and then is flying by it. So now Miles, what I imagine you might be doing on the hourly chart is looking for the 50-day to kind of move as a guide and for us to loftily fly above it on like a cloud, the way that Ripster would say. Good way to trade the stock on the hourly. Looking at the daily, because I'm more of a swing trader, more of a position trader, because I work full-time at Benzinga. I can't watch this stuff all day as much as I would like to. Looking at the daily, looking very, very strong on the bounce under resistance. Remember, guys, this is a resolution of a big old apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur, rounded bottom. So this has a lot of room to go. Yes, we are going to hit some resistance along the way, but this is showing strength. The entire sector is behind it. Big money is behind it with this big rotation into value stocks that we have recently had. And something that you can do here to find those rows in the way is anchor from the swing high to the absolute swing low. And then you can see that those lines on your Fibonacci retracement tool are going to line up with your resistance levels. And you can see right now that we're trading, which one is this? On Fibonacci, sorry, I'm going really fast, 50%. The 50% line is right about where we're trading here with X. So there's probably going to be a little bit of a sideways corrective phase before we start getting and moving back up to our next target of about $30, where you should expect another corrective phase. So there you go. That is X. Is X still in the game? Yes. Is it going to have a little bit of a corrective phase where it's not going to like blast up like a rocket ship? Probably. But is it a rat snack that we want to be in and keep our eyeballs on? Definitely. All right, that's X. Let's take a look at some high type flags. Give me a 1 in chat if you like high type flags. Give me a 1 in chat if you like high type flags. Give me a 2 if you don't know what they are, because there's no one that shouldn't like note high type flags. You're insane if you don't. And I'll wait for you guys to catch up because we have the YouTube boomer delay. And shout out Miles and 13, as always, for the assistance on the technical analysis. You guys are real ones. 1 and 2. Okay, so let's take a look at some high-tech flags. We'll do a little bit of an explanation of them. The first one I want to look at is ORGO, because that was pointed out by someone in chat. Let's just say a very vocal person whose name you've probably already heard this morning. This is shout out Miles for bringing us back to ORGO. What I want to do for high-type flags, what you want to do is switch to the weekly increment, 1 week. All right. High type flags form when there is a 100% or more movement within the course of 8 weeks. All right. So we use a little 8-week candle. We see a big old move, usually following a big reversal, which we love on this show. And we count back the weeks. We say this was the high before 8. We look. Okay. Let's get the paintbrush out. All right. Let's do the Bob Ross. You get your big up move, and then you get your corrective phase. All right. So that pivot before the corrective phase is where you're going to start counting backwards. Right. And let's count backwards on the weekly candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from 8, we're going to measure up. This is the weekly candle. Measure up to the top of this flag that has started forming at the pivot of our corrective phase. And we find that move, the yellow line right now is on the lower wick. It's a lower shadow. That move is about 112%, baby. Big old move for a stock. And what happens after big, huge moves with stocks most of the time? When people make a ton of money, like over 100% profit on something, what do they tend to do right away? You already know. This is why you don't typically chase stocks that are ripping. Stupid app. Lawsuits. Yeah, definitely lawsuits. Yeah, I mean, Kodak comes to mind. Buy more. Sell off. Joe's the only one. Joe's the only one. Yeah, people typically take profit and sell it. Ring the register. Exactly. Ring the register. So that's why high type flags are special, because after this big 100% move, not everybody's taking profit. A majority of the people that are in the position are staying. All right. So that's why when it gets to that pivot point, we measure down from the pivot point on our upward trend over within an 8-week period. And then we measure down and see how far the corrective phase is drooping. In this case, it's 17%. We want to see 25% or less on that droop to tell us that people want to see more from the stock. Probably if you're an institution, let's face it, you probably know something that the rest of the public doesn't. And that's why you're in the stock. And you know what? Whatever, dude. That's how it works. And we're going to follow that money. So I've drawn a yellow square. And as Jason has reminded you, smash that like if you like high type flags. Smash the like for the high type flags, folks. And subscribe and ring the bell. Bookmark the page. So guys, we have an official high type flag on ORGO. This is a biotech. Let me pull up my notes on the stock. Elbow cough. This is wound care supplies. So what I like about this from a biotech perspective is this is not a binary stock. This is not they're working on one or two treatments for a specific range of diseases or ailments that are related, and they may or may not get FDA approval to go to market. This is an ongoing need that we have, which is like laceration, wound care, probably throughout the hospitalization, like regular visits to your primary care physician, as well as like ER or OR, the operating room or emergency room visits. Wound care is an ongoing thing that's going to constantly be needing to buy supplies and constantly need to be improving from a tech perspective. And that's what this company is in the business of. Miles, let me know if I explained that well. That's my understanding of ORGO, Organogenesis Holdings. At any rate, high type flag, folks. So our price target or our entry here is going to be a break above $21.73. I want a session close. So let's switch back to the daily. This is daily now. It looks a little bit different, but this is still the same high type flag. I want a session close above our resistance. That means at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, I'm looking for a strong green candle above this resistance line. And then I'm targeting the height of our pole going into the high type flag added to that breakout point, which is the resistance line at $21.73. I'm targeting 33.41 high type flags, baby. So that would be on a close above, let's say you enter just above resistance, 53% gain. Let's go. So that's ORGO, ORGO. Use the weekly chart to draw your high type flag. Let's take a look at another one. Actually, yeah. Let's take a look at CENX. And ORGO is looking good on the day, by the way. But you would expect a little bit of sideways action here. Going back to the weekly, just to retouch on how these high type flags should be monitored. It has about like 4 to 6 weeks of consolidation, and then once it gets past that for its corrective phase, it starts to look like it might be petered out. But we're in a really still in a somewhat volatile market with the S&P and the Q. Well, S&P had like a moment, but with the Q kind of turning around, and with the recent sector rotations, we're making some allowances for going outside those rules. But damn, look at this thing go! Do you see that weekly candle just move? Let's go, baby. ORGO gapped up on the day. Whew. Okay, so that's ORGO. Let's take a look at CENX. Aluminum. I got another interesting one for you, too, that I want to get to. So, yeah. AMTX is going to be the next one I look at. This is another high type flag, folks. High type flag. We're on the weekly. We go to the high point at the end of our upward trend before it pivoted into its corrective phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks back. But when this trend really started, we had this reversal, and then the trend really started on this green candle. But if I move my tools here, you can see that this is the week of Feb 1. Feb 1, 2021. High tight flag. Let me draw this up so you can really see how high and tight it is. This one does violate, if I'm not mistaken, the 25% rule. But again, we are in a strange time in the market where we're rotating between growth and value. So high tight flag, CENX, Century Aluminum, non-precious metals are a sector to watch. So we have sector strength behind us on this one. So really quick, let's look at this. We got our pull from the reversal point into the upward trend. We've got our flag formation with the rectangle. We're going to draw it in here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of our corrective phase. We're still within range for breakout. What do we want to see? We want to see a break above $19.68, maybe at about a nickel. So we want to see a solid close above that. Let's switch over to the daily now. We want to see a solid session close above that to enter, and then we are going to be targeting $29.75. Nice roundish number. So that it would be from a breakout. Do the thing I want you to do, please. There. No. About 50%. About 50% there, guys. Okay. So let's take a look at AMTX. So that's CENX, that's ORGO, or both high tight flags with 50% profit potential upon a breakout of a session high, or a session close, rather, a session close above the upper resistance line. Let's take a look at AMTX. AMTX, interesting one. This is energy, but it's biofuels. All right, so these guys have like ethanol, and they're also using the materials that they're using to create biofuels to create other things, like I believe feed, like livestock feed. So this is an interesting play. What I like about it is it's innovation plus energy. Let's go back. Oh yeah. So a lot of times, watch those rounding bottoms because they just keep giving and giving and giving. A lot of times after a big rounding bottom reversal, which we had here, which was a multi-year consolidation phase, before a big rounding bottom breakout, over 100%, as measured by my yellow line. Let's get over to the weekly here. Look at this massive week that this stock had. What I will say is this one we're going to watch, because look how crazy this is. So overbought, such a massive candle, but still did not sell off after profits were made. Yeah, but not taken. You know what I mean? So we're looking at this flag. Let's draw our little rectangle here. So we've got the pivot at the end of the trend, and we'll bring the bottom to our swing low. Measuring that is a droop of about 28%, but again, in these volatile markets, it's okay if it's a bit above 25%. So we're making allowances with the rigid textbook rules of our pattern analysis. So that is our high type flag. We are looking for a session close on the daily, which I'll switch to now, above 27.51 AMTX. We're looking for a close above 27.50 for a profit target of about 48.50. 48.50. Bang. Let's draw the thing. Woo! You guys probably can't see that. That's about 73% profit potential on that on a break above the upper resistance line. Watch AMTX, folks. Watch AMTX. Okay, last one I want to take a look at really quick while the session is open. Make sure you guys are using your weeklies for your high type flags. Let's look at Wayfair. Little cup and handle. Looks like it's struggling today. Unfortunate. I really want to see Wayfair break out. So we've just got a nice cup and handle on Wayfair. We want to see a nice close above our handle, but it's not happening. So that was my little compulsory check-in on that. Okay, we've got 8 minutes before we bring on our very special guest, Mr. Steve Kalayjian. Give me some tickers you want to look at. Tickers and timelines. Let me know If it's a swing trade you want to look at on daily, perhaps even weekly, let me know. If it's an investment you want to look at over a longer period, let me know. If it's a day trade you want to look at even down to a minute. PLTR daily, you got it. Okay, bullish Palantir. Why bullish Palantir? A couple things are going on. Number one, we've got this nice double bottom. Let's go. I mean, we just love these double bottoms. I think here's the way that I think we play Palantir. We know that we're going to hit some resistance at the 50-day. We know that's this line right here. This is the 50-day moving average, this blue line. We know that if we break above that 50-day moving average, that it's going to trigger a bunch of news sites and publications to start saying that Palantir has broken above the 50-day moving average. And then a bunch of the dumb money is going to come in and get excited about it, giving it even more power. All right. But we also know that with our double bottom patterns, that you don't have to wait for a breakout above the neckline to get in. You can be more aggressive. In fact, when looking at a double bottom pattern, you can draw a line, a trend line, coming down into your double bottom and say, if this thing breaks above on the second swing of this W, if it breaks above it, I'm going to go long on the stock with the thesis that we're going to form a full double bottom pattern, and I'm going to target 50%, the 50% vertical line of my double bottom pattern, which was at about 23. So we could have gone long back here March 31st. About March 31st. Or even March 30th if you were more aggressive and believed. Now that we've broken above the 50% line, we're above it on the day's session. If we have a session close above this line, I have no qualms about targeting about 2680. What is that? Yeah, maybe a little bit lower, just to be on the safe side. Maybe about 10 cents lower than that. Targeting that for a short-term trade, very short-term trade, maybe like 3-4 days, something like that. PLTR. And the reason for that is that we've hit the middle point of a rounding bottom, and then we're targeting the neckline. Now, the next thing we want, of course, is a breakout above the neckline of our double bottom here, of our reversal of Palantir. Because, I mean, let's face it, this one does, this falls into the rat system. All right. We've rummaged for a stock that's gotten beaten up, Palantir. We've analyzed the environment that it's in, which is, this is a company that has a bunch of government contracts. They are doing actual real business. This isn't like a stock that's being held on promises and memes. This stock is doing actual business. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. It's just distracting me. Boom. So looking good on Palantir from a sector, from a macro perspective. Next thing from a technical perspective is that we've broken above this middle line, and we can very easily target about $26 over a short time frame. Now, if we break above that, I want a session close daily candle above that. You're going to run into resistance at that 50-day. All right, that's just how it is. A lot of times with rounding bottoms, the 50-day kind of crosses right where this yellow line is. But Palantir is a young stock. It's a young stock. So with a trailing indicator, it's not going to look exactly the same way it does with a lot of other ones. So we're going to hit a little bit of resistance here, I would imagine. But if we get a solid close above the 50-day MA, we look for full resolution of our rounding bottom, which is measured from our low here on the right up to our neckline, and then added to our neckline price target of about 32, 33 bucks. I would imagine that would come more in line with about 33 based on this previous candle. And let's do a cool thing here. Let's go ahead and just use our Fibonacci extension tool to see if it's confirming some of these levels. It may even give us more meaningful levels. Coming down to the swing low. So if we anchor our Fibonacci, not extension, but Fibonacci retracement tool at the high on the daily for Palantir, which was January 27th, then we anchor it to the low on the right swing of our double bottom pattern, we see that the 50% line lines up perfectly with the price target that I just set. So that is going to be our price target if we break above this 15-day moving average or 50-day moving average. Bullish Palantir. Maybe. See if I have time. Okay. What's next? That was Palantir, SIG. Nice. So I'm glad I have the 50-day open. This is just loftily riding above the 50-day. I'm not even counting this as a touch. So this is a stock that has been obeying the 50-day moving average. So one just easy way to look at this thing is that every time this thing touches the 50-day moving average, it can be a buy signal. Cross below, think twice about it. If it punctures the 50-day, think twice about it. This isn't something I would worry about. I would look at something more like, like a wick that's doing some of that, or like a body that does some of that. But this thing is obeying the 50-day. Great. Signet Jewelers. Yep. It's a retail. I'm a bachelor and I don't wear jewelry, so I don't really know what they do. But yeah, specialty stores, you go in and buy rings and necklaces and stuff, I guess. All right, so you see a cup and handle on the daily. So then you're probably, let me know if this is what you see. So you would be looking for the left cup is going to be the pivot from the uptrend to when it starts selling. And then the right cup is going to be when the stock started to reaccumulate and then sell off. So I'll use the high of this red candle to draw the cup portion. Is this what you're thinking for SIG? And then following that left pivot, there's a sell-off period that should have a nice little slope downward. Is this how you drew your cup? I'll bite. So for a break above, I would definitely wait for a break above the resistance because the sloping line is so flat. Well, actually, no. So let's try. If we stretch this out, look weekly at SIG. Okay. So we resolved our little rounding bottom. The reversal has resolved. Then we hit a sell-off point. Gotcha. Whoops, not 10 minutes. Now we're looking at the daily. So for SIG, I would say if you get a breakout above your sloping resistance line that is drawn from your swing high on the pivot to the next higher point as you go down on this handle here, you can target from the breakout point to the high of the resistance, which is actually right about here at $60. So upon a session close, depending on how you want to play it, you can trade between these 2 points. And then upon a breakout of this resistance, you would be looking for, I would imagine that you would really want to watch for, here, hold on, this point at 63.27. Now, really quick, let's just get our extension or retracement. We'll go from our high down to our low. And that's actually telling us to watch out for the body there. But body, wick, I think you watch out for the wick on that. So yeah, upon a breakout of $60, you can target about 63. I would expect some resistance there. And then upon a breakout of that, you're going to expect resistance at the previous wick, which is, I Could be. Is that all-time high or no? No, definitely not. You're going to hit resistance there. And then after a breakout of that 66 point, you're going to hit resistance at the next meaningful price level. Just go ahead and switch to weekly. I'm going to the high to when the downward trend started, to the absolute low on our little rounding bottom reversal here. And then these are some levels that are going to be resistance for you along the way. So you're looking for impulse, corrective phase, impulse, corrective phase. Whoops. Impulse, corrective phase on SIG. CHEK. Oh, we're 3 minutes past. I've got to bring on our guest for the day. Producer AB, would you be kind enough to bring on our special guest for our lesson today? Oh, actually, hold on. It doesn't look like they're there. Wait, are they there? I see kind of an empty chair. I see an arm. Producer AB, can you confirm that our guest is ready? While he's doing that, I'll look at CHEK. Check. Oh, also, guys, reminder, we have a boot camp coming up. April 10th, boot camp. So you guys are asking for beginner videos. April 10th, benzingabootcamp.com. Bunch of education, bunch of really cool people that have been guests on this show are going to be there. Hey, there's me. There was me before 2020 hit me. A full day. How to read charts. Difference between technical and fundamental analysis. And then also Matt uses both, so he'll combine the two to get you set up. Long-term versus short-term. How to day trade. All right, so this is where you want to be for that stuff, Big T. I got you. And I'll go ahead and just drop the link here in chat. Sign up. It's free. It's free. Get yourself to a Benzinga bootcamp. It's fun, goofy times, lots of education. All right, producer AB, are we ready to bring our guest on?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like give us one more minute on that, a couple more minutes, and we'll bring him on.
All right. Give me a 1 in chat if producer AB was loud as hell just now. I could hear every single distinct quality in the man's voice.
Sorry about that. I'm just on my MacBook Pro, so I guess the mic's a little sensitive. Not using a microphone or anything, but it looks like we are ready now.
All right. I love it. Thanks, man. Yeah, producer AB, he sounds like he's doing the thing. I do this sometimes. Sideways in bed, laptop sideways in bed before going to sleep, tippy tapping on the keyboard. You might be doing that. All right. Steven, can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready? Steven is ready to come on. Let's add him to the stream. Whoops. Hey, man.
Hey, Neal, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing, man?
All right. Great.
Well, you
after a nice weekend, long weekend.
Yeah, I had a wonderful long weekend. Did you get some time to spend with your family and all that?
Yeah, my daughter came up from University of Georgia, spent some time with her. Really nice time.
Yeah, that's great. It's great. I know that when I came back from college, and even now, that it just puts my parents over the moon to see me. So that's great. You got to spend time with the fam. So for folks that are not familiar with you, could you give everyone a little bit of an introduction to yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I'm Stephen Kalayjian. I'm the chief market strategist and co-founder of Tocker. I've been day trading, my specialty for 38 years. In my life, I traded nearly close to 2 billion shares. I traded everything you can think of, from options to equities to foreign exchange to commodities and index futures. Every single day, I hold a live trading room from 8 to 4 using my predictive analytics to help with high alpha generated intraday ideas. I also talk about intermediate and long-term views of the market, taking advantage of symbols like the SDAOs, the UVXYs, and names of that nature for more longer, intermediate to longer term moves. But intraday, we focus on the big ETFs, you know, the Russell, the Diamonds, the Qs and the Spiders, and all the big high beta names like Boeing and NVIDIA, Netflix, Apple, Facebook, you name it, we're in it. And with the volatility of the markets and the high price names, you know, since March of 2020, we've seen these prices explode. And so a lot of volatility comes with these names at such higher prices now.
Excellent. And I put the link to tickertalker.com there in the chat, guys. So go ahead and check that out. Lots of ways to get involved there. All right, Stephen, what I would love to do is if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen, if you're able to, and then just give us a little bit of a lesson of how you look at the markets, how you look at trading.
Trying to figure out how to share a screen here. Let's see.
No problem.
Yeah.
As you can see on the background, Stephen's using an actual floor fan to cool down a computer, it looks like.
Yeah. So I built my own. I built my own predictive analytics. Neil, can you see it now? If you can see it. There
we go. We got it.
Okay, great. So basically, this is in the way here. BZ. We can get rid of that. So basically, let me just change the symbol. Maybe that will help it here. So we just caught a nice short here on Facebook here. Let me just switch the time frame really quick here. Okay, here we go. So we had a nice short on the opening on Facebook. I pulled in. I had nothing but buy divergences here right after the opening on Facebook. And then from there, we caught a nice short on this move up and for a pullback. So we're seeing monster buying pressure here in Facebook on the right after the opening since 9:30. Dropped about $1.90 from the high to low here. Again, so what we focus on during the day is identifying trends, reversals in the market, and divergence, positive or negative divergences. And so Facebook had a clear divergence on the new high at the right around the ISM number that came out around the 10:05 time frame. So we're able to pick these names up. Same thing with like a Boeing here. We caught this really great short in Boeing right after the opening here, trade above the 258.60. I think the high was 258.88, and then it just dropped about $1.80 off the highs there. So we're able to identify these patterns, especially like the TNAs, which is the Russell. Look at this short. We caught this buy divergence off the 15-minute, the sell divergence, sorry, off the 15-minute time frame. So again, I spent 8 years of my life building these predictive analytics, and I'm able to use it with my algorithm, which is in my indicator form, indicator 3, to be able to pick up these divergence patterns, and these patterns repeat themselves on throughout the day, and so that's what I teach all day long from 8 to 4. We identify these trades. We're in these trades. We get people involved, and to be able to teach them technical analysis. I'm not a fundamental guy, so I've been using technical analysis for 38 years of my life. God bless you.
Thank you. Would you mind explaining, like just in general,
sure,
what the indicators on the left are telling you?
On this left here, or
the far left of your screen.
So I use multiple time frames when I look at the market, and for me, it's really about when I look at the indexes like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100. I do look at 5 time frames: the 3-minute, the 5-minute, the 15, the 30, and the hourly chart. But when it comes to intraday stocks, I'll look at the 3, the 5, and the 15. And in this case, I'll look at the 5 and the 15-minute time frame on the TNAs. Indicator 1 is just a MACD, 12.26.9. But the way I use it in conjunction with my overbought oversold oscillator on indicator 3 and my predictive analytics on indicator 4. So when I saw a new high right after the opening on the TNAs, and the high got up to it opened at 96.24 and it traded up to 96.46, 15 cents higher. I knew that it would be short-lived to the upside. I had a severe overbought reading on my work on indicator 3 and indicator 1. I have a little way of teaching the markets, knowing how to use certain indicators properly. The 0.0 line is my pivot line. I spent a year and a half studying and researching this number, and I implemented this number in my charting application. And basically what it does is it just tells me exactly where the points of conditions can happen. So for example, when you see this MACD crossing up above my terminology, my pivot line, and it was over on the 15-minute and on the 5-minute, I knew that at the time the upside was very, very limited, especially on indicator 3, that I was significantly way overbought on the 5-minute and the 3-minute time frame. So I look at the bigger time frame to help me with picking up the divergences along with the smaller, but then I look at the smaller time frames for entries and exits.
Got it. Okay, so very interesting stuff there. This screen that we're looking at, is this something that you built?
I spent 8 years of my life building this, yes, researching and building this. So no study could be added and or deleted here.
So something that I love about this is the cleanliness. Like, you've got so much information, but I don't see like horizontal or vertical, like vertical timelines or and horizontal price lines. I just see what is happening in the formation of, like, forming patterns and movement, and it's so clean to look at all of this information. It's kind of incredible.
Yeah. So basically, my right eye never moves off the current bar. So all these numbers, I train all my members and all my traders exactly how to look at the market. My right eye, like I said, never leaves off the current bar. I really don't care what happens in the past. That's history to me. So everything I'm looking at, I'm able to pick up based upon the numbers to the right. And I explain everything that's on the charting application. And plus, I also have a complete different way of talking about the markets. I created my own terminology, which now people actually are so versed to hearing. I actually have so many members in the day calling out ideas for me. Hey, let's look at Tesla for a short. Let's look at the NASDAQ for a short. Monster sell divergence. So at this stage of my life, at 58 and 38 years of doing this, it gives me a lot of great joy that a lot of people are really picking up on what I built here and understanding, you know, again, for me, it's about being on the right side of the market. I want to identify trends and reversals. But what separates a trader from being a great trader is not only being consistent, but also being able to pick up the ability to pick up divergence patterns. Are you going to make a new high, or are you going to make a lower high? Are you going to make a new low, or are you going to make a higher low? And these divergence patterns we trade are monstrous at times based upon the way we're seeing the market and the way the analytics are lined up.
And then Stephen, I do know a little bit about you and Ticker Tocker. I know that you guys have somewhat of an ethos in terms of this idea of trading alone, or the solitary trader.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on this idea of day trading being a solitary experience?
You know, everybody shoots down day trading, and for me, it's really it's like a pit bull's got a bad rap because a pit bull, they think, attacks, constantly, when I know the most loving pit bulls in the world, you know what I'm saying? And they're labeled incorrectly. Day trading is labeled incorrectly. And I it may not be the greatest analogy in the world, but I've been doing this for 38 years of my life. And I've seen and I've transformed so many people from beginners who just don't even know what a stock or an index is or a future, and now they're trading full blown, to individuals who are, who have monster bad habits, right? Not adhering to stops, trading into earnings. I've seen it all. I mean, and not recognizing the pattern for what it is. I could be in a monstrous trend and a great pullback happening, and somebody will say, I'm going to look to short Tesla here. I'm like, no. That's not what we're looking at here. Someone who's new and not familiarized. What I looked at and I explained to everybody is that we're doctors, right? So we're looking at a chart, even though it's not a human being per se, but we're looking at a chart. Now, this was a monster buy divergence here on the TNAs, and I just ran $1.50. God bless you, $1.50, $1.40. we're able to identify in every symbol anywhere between 5 and 8 great trading ideas a day in each name that we're looking at. So whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Facebook, whether it's TNAs, no matter what it is, we're able to identify these names in a way that there are significant moves in the market, whether it's a divergence pattern, a reversal pattern, or a new trend developing.
And you've mentioned a couple times buy divergence. That's a phrase we don't hear a lot on this show.
Sure.
What do you mean when you say that?
Well, this is a clear buy divergence right here on the TNAs. I'm glad you mentioned it. I have nothing but buys here on indicator 4, which my predictive analytics. Even though the 5-minute time frame on my algorithm went negative, I was going to buy this pullback with the deep oversold condition against the 15-minute time frame. So again, if the print low here was 93.17, I knew right here on the 15-minute time frame, I would have reversed negative, taking out the 92.16 level right here. So I knew this pullback would have been short-lived to the downside, and we were going to get a push up, not to new highs, but a good trade, enough to get 50 cents to $1 plus out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a clear buy divergence. So if you're short anywhere, you want to cover and then reverse the position to go long.
So if there's one thing out of all the years of experience that you have developing these indicators, developing this whole way of looking at the market, what's one thing that you would say to folks that are at the beginner to intermediate stages of their trading?
I tell them, if they're going to follow with me, this is a journey, not a sprint. And if you have the passion to want to learn, I will mentor you. I talk to you like I've known you for 30 years. I'm very transparent. Everybody has my cell phone numbers. People talk to me every day and night. My phone blows up after the close. I really care. I really want people to learn. And I think that, again, this is something that I have taught so many people. I just finished teaching a whole monster group of people, but one woman that I'm not going to mention her name, in Ireland, lost her business due to COVID, needed something to do, and for several months was taking all these different classes, and now is trading in using Interactive Broker. And now, she told me I changed her life. It's nice when a gentleman drives down from Connecticut and hands me a card and says, "Thank you for what you've done. You've helped change my life." So I think the whole moral of this is that if you have the passion that you want to learn, I will teach you. Right? And I feel that with this gift that I was given and the ability with the technicals that I created, and is that anybody can really do this. So don't be fearful of a pit bull, and don't be fearful of day trading, right? And I think that to me is the whole moral of what we're able to do here each and every day. And for 8 hours a day, it's nonstop here. So we're calling ideas. People are generating ideas, seeing it, and just constantly moving the needle. And that's all we can ask for. Like I told you, I thought we were going to make a lower high here. Okay, this, on the TNAs, I don't think there's any chance, not with this pattern, that you're going to take out the highs here on the TNAs. So even if you did get this long here anywhere about 93.5, whatever, and it pushed up to like 90, just pushed up $1.09, I don't think that there was no way you were going to make a new high here. So here's something I would say, hey, let's look to buy the TNAs here and here, give different entry zones. Let's look to kick it out here. It's not going to make a new high. That's the first thing you have to identify when you're making a trade. Is a trade that you're going to enter on a long going to make a new high or a lower high? And if it's a short, a new low or a higher low. A lot of people don't have that mindset when they trade. They don't think like that. So I get people to think in a complete different mindset.
Excellent. All right. So great sentiment there. Stephen, we're just about at time. Where can folks get involved with what you're doing?
I say that, again, if you're looking to day trade the market, if you're looking to really correct or understand the predictive analytics, the way I've built it, I'm happy to, talk to anyone and help guide them and put them on the right course.
All right, so there you go, guys. The link to tickertocker.com is in chat, no matter where you are watching from right now. Highly recommend. Click it. Check it out. Get involved. Really, really unique community here. and they are a big presence in the trading world. So, Stephen, thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
Thanks, Neil. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
You too, my friend.
Okay.
All right, Stephen Kalayjian there, guys. Tickertalker.com. A lot of folks are involved there. Really interesting stuff. One thing, I'm just going to preempt a question that some of you might have. The symbols here. Let me share my screen really quick. Wait, add to stream. Here we go. The price charts that he had. So let me open up. What's one that let's do Doge. This is Dogecoin, guys. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. Doge. Doge USD. His charts looks kind of different, right? Because he's not using candles. He's using bars. So on your charting tool, whatever you're using, you should be able to select a couple different things. One, of course, as always, is just your lines, which is the close of each candle. But in this case, he was using bars, which are a little bit grayed out on my screen. It's kind of hard to see. But they operate very similarly to candles in that the full length of the bar. So if I can really zoom in on one, let me change my settings here. Why are they so dark? Up color green. There we go. See that one more time. Down color, bright red. There we are. So if you're looking at a bar, the open is on the left side. It's a horizontal line on the left side of your bar. The close is on the right side. It's a horizontal line on the bar. And the range, which you can basically treat like the wicks above and below those lines, is the full bar itself. All right. So that's just another way of looking at price activity within a time period. In this case, we're looking at the dailies. Okay, so we've got just a few minutes left of Get Technical on this fine Monday morning. What tickers do you want to look at? Okay, we're going to look at CLVS. CLVS cup and handle question mark for the previous week. Candles. So a cup and handle is a continuation pattern, so it needs to be preceded by an uptrend. So a CLVS, your entire uptrend here is one candle. So as long as you are aware of that, you may treat this as a cup and handle. I don't think it would strictly fit the definitions. Get our arc tool, but here's the way you would draw it if you felt that way. Yeah, so your pivot's got to be the high from your trend to the swing low. And then it actually, oh no, it's going to be, the pivot's going to be right there. And then you're going to draw your handle sloping from your pivot down to the next high. Yeah, but also, you know what? I wouldn't get too hung up on like the strict textbook definitions of patterns, even though we use them on the show. I honestly use those as a heuristic or a quick way of learning or conveying information. I just think that it's very easy for people to understand patterns. It is perfect, like personally for me, when I look at charts that have patterns, I can see them very quickly. So I think that's just an easy way to learn, and it makes sense to people. But I mean, at the end of the day, everything's about supply and demand. Everything is about support and resistance. So it's all about looking backwards in time. What were meaningful price levels to give you an idea of what's going on now? We are in a little micro upward trend here. We did have a sell-off period and an accumulation period, so it's very cuppy. It's very cup-esque. So you can look for a breakout above $7.41 CLVS on this one. But you can also just trade more simply. It doesn't have to be like a rigid pattern. So we can just delete this thing. Boom. Let's see what this linear regression does. You can look at this in the form of like a channel that we're trading in. I would opt for something more organic like this. One thing that's happening, your body of this candle and actually the close on this previous one are pretty much obeying your 50-day moving average. So you've got that on your side. We've broken above that. We dipped below it. Now we're back above it. That's bullish. So now we're looking at our sloping line of resistance here, which is the mean on this linear regression. So you may look for a breakout above that and then start targeting another high, another previous high. Another thing that you can do that's a little bit more organic is use your Bollinger Bands and say, hey, we broke above the 50-day moving average within the upper band of our Bollinger Band. I keep saying Bollinger, but it's Bollinger, I suppose. I understand. And you can target the upper side of this. Target about 776. All right. Thanks to everyone that joined this morning. Thank you all for watching. And also a big shout out to everyone that joined us on Saturday for the special edition Saturday special of Get Technical, where we had a live DJ, head of the Benzinga news desk, Brent Slava, spinning records. We had a special guest help us in the process of creating from scratch a Get Technical NFT, which we will be minting soon. We'll be minting soon, and 100% of the proceeds will be going to charity. So stay tuned for the official Get Technical NFT. If you want to see what that looked like and sort of go take a look at the 3D modeling process of the creation thereof, check out the Saturday broadcast. It's got a ton of stuff in there, some research for this week that's probably good to look at. So go ahead and check that out. Easily found on the Get Technical playlist on the Benzinga YouTube. At any rate, I am Neal Hamilton. With me, as always, is producer AB, Aaron Bree, and big shout out to our special guest, Stephen Kalayjian from TickerTocker.com. Make sure you sign up for the Benzinga Bootcamp, BenzingaBootcamp.com. Let's get that link dropped down here. It's April 10th. It's going to be sick. Be there. You will learn so much. Doesn't matter what stage of training you're at. Elbow cough. You're going to love it. At any rate, I'm Neal Hamilton. This has been Get Technical. And as always, happy trading.